This podcast is part of the Robots Radio Rocket Club, a program designed to help all podcasts reach their full potential. For information about joining the Robots Radio Rocket Club, check out robotsradio.net.
Welcome to Holocron Histories, Star Wars Canon versus Legends, where we're going to take a deep dive into the lore of the Star Wars universe.
Hello and welcome to the Holocron Histories podcast, where we talk about Star Wars Canon versus Legend. I'm one of your hosts, Austin, also known as Teacup.
And I'm your other host, Ben of Temeria.
Yeah, and so we are here to talk about Jedi Survivor. So this is your warning now. We are going to be talking Jedi Survivor. If you haven't played the game yet, if you're not finished with the game yet, we're going to be talking about all its aspects, and that means that there are going to be spoilers for the main story. Both Ben and I have beaten the game at least once. Some of us are on New Game Plus 3.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I probably should change the title of the episode.
Oh, oops.
Oopsies. There we go. Now it's Jedi Survivor. Yeah, I completely forgot that's what we were doing today. But yes, Jedi Survivor, okay. Do you want to rate the game before or after?
I think we should rate it on categories.
Okay. Yeah.
So we'll rate the story, and we'll rate the gameplay, and we'll rate whether or not you can pet the boglings. We'll rate, just all that. All the important stuff.
Yes. All the important stuff.
So first off, out of whether or not you can pet the boglings, that's a 10 out of 10.
Yes.
Right off the bat.
Yes, without a doubt, right off the bat, 10 out of 10. I was so happy when they introduced that, hey, you can pet the boglings. It's like, yay! I can actually touch something that won't kill me.
Right. So I guess let's talk gameplay first.
Okay.
Let's do gameplay first, and then we'll get into, when we get to story, because we should talk about the lore implications of the story. And since you know a little more about the High Republic era than I do, I'd be curious any Easter eggs you saw there. But as far as gameplay goes, it's almost exactly the same as the first game. Your basic combat mechanics are parry, hit, parry, break their guard, get your kill blow. Very similar to Sekiro Sekiro, very similar to Wulong in those kind of Souls-esque games of where you focus more on parry than dodging. I will say that the dodge button was a little more useful in this game than its predecessor, than in Fallen Order.
Oh, without a doubt. I've dodged probably as much as I parried in this game compared to Fallen Order, where you just parry everything. Because with them introducing a lot more unique enemy archetypes and creatures in the world, you kind of have to dodge. Mm-hmm. So compared to, Fallen Order, you're just fighting stormtroopers literally 98% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Here in ATST once in a while, which is on one planet. But yeah, that's fairly pretty much what you fought in Fallen Order. Where here in Jedi Survivor, you have 3 different factions, really. You have much more unique archetypes within those factions. Then you have all the different creatures, let alone the size of the creatures, and how many there are typically within a group.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, some of those creatures, the creatures are the hardest parts of this game. Yeah, we can talk about, The Droidicas can be annoying, but if you can have enough block stamina, you can basically sprint at them.
Hmm.
And if you have the ability where you auto block when you sprint, and then if you can close the distance, you you can get up, break their shield, and
Yeah.
hit them. So like there's a lot of that, but like the creatures, the what was it called? You have the Wampa S things, the
Yeah,
big
the
like
whoop,
Tyrannosaurus,
womp, wopa or whoopoo or something that
something.
yeah, it's similar. It's
Yeah.
basically a womp. It's a forest wampa. That's what it
Yeah.
is.
And you like that one you can block, but I spent most of my time fighting those by most creatures I just dodge and I don't block.
Mm-hmm. Got that right. Or yeah, the rancor
Mm-hmm.
constantly blocking, or well, block 25% of the time, dodging 75% the rest. Or
And spawn of what's his of the frog, the freaking
oh,
green
that
frog.
one's dodge
Good luck.
period. There is no
Good luck.
blocking that crap.
No.
He's harder
And
than the rancor. Blatantly,
the
you
thing
hear it
about
first.
the lunge attack that he has is like it's undodgeable.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no way to dodge it
You
in
try.
timing.
I've tried to dodge it, but like every time it always clips me and always gets me, no matter what I do. Even if you
Unless
jump,
you have to jump and dash.
yeah. If you have the dash ability when you fight him, I did not.
So
So,
let's talk about how you felt about the two new stances that we got. Or I guess let's rate the stances. Like which stances did you use most of the
oh
game?
gosh. So, I mean, so okay. First off, we have the 5 stances, right? You have single blade,
Mhm.
double blade, dual wield, which is its own stance finally in this game, which we were all so happy. I mean, I get. Tell me you weren't happy that we got a dual wield stance compared to
Mhm.
the first game where we can do no we can't, it's only blocked by, it's locked between a freaking combo. um
Right.
Blaster in single blade and then crossguard. So the
Right.
ones so when you start the game you get the first 3 right. So best thing about so far with this game, when you start the game you have all of Cal's abilities where they were at the end of the first game. So you don't have to relearn how to use force push, force pull. You don't have to go through like halfway through or like a quarter through the game just to unlock a new force ability or something like that. Cal already knows all that stuff because that's where he left off at, which is great. And so you already have single blade, double blade, and dual wield unlocked right off the get go through the prologue. So I was running single blade and dual wield. Single blade mostly just for, blocking and whatnot for standard enemies. Dual wielding typically for the bosses or harder to fight melee combats because it has a better parrying time. But when I unlocked the blaster stance, that's all I use, blaster and dual wield, because I love using a blaster. I love the memes now that's coming out with Cows like, oh, how Cow's like doing all this stuff, and then like he gets backed into the corner and is like, pulls out his blaster and it's like, nope, not today.
I will say for me, the Dark Souls player in me wants to use the cross guard. But like in my opinion, the dodge button is still not as intuitive to warrant trying to do that.
Yeah, that's fair. Crossguard
The
was like, I used it for the one instance that made you use it when you first unlock it, and then it's just
Mhm.
like, I don't know. To me, it's too slow. It's way too slow, especially in a Star Wars combat where everything's more of a fast-paced style, and where people have
Yeah.
blasters.
Though there is like okay, so I have like 40 extra skill points. I've gotten every skill point in the game, and now I have like 40 extra.
The game plus
And
there.
so I have progressed beyond, and I have everything upgraded. And so I will say that I am a simp for the single hilt, the classic. Just you feel like a Jedi when you're walking in with one lightsaber, and you do that. And so I think that with that, I used the single blade a lot. I used blaster a lot. I did use dual wield. Uh, I kind of go back and forth because I want one that like does like heavy damage, and then one that is good for like fending off blaster fire. So like in the first game, I would use single stance all the time unless I went up like one of the heavy range troopers or a group of stormtroopers, and then I would take out the double blade so I could block all their blaster bolts
Mm-hmm.
in one. And so I still kind of want that. I will say that the double bladed lightsaber feels more deadly in this game.
Yes.
It does, but the crossguard, I did end up using crossguard for that purpose because when you upgrade it fully, you can like send back a power shot at them.
Oh yeah. So yeah, isn't like you swing down and it makes like a force wave kind of a thing towards the group?
No, it's like can do that, but there's a deflect upgrade where if you block a blaster bolt
Mm-hmm.
with a crossguard, it sends back like a heavy shot at them.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
And
Okay.
then, so that was part of the reason I used the crossguard in there. And I do find the crossguard is really good for single opponents.
Mm-hmm.
If you want like the damage, especially like in the Ravis fight where you do spend most of your time kind of dodging and waiting in a typical Souls fashion, you spend your time dodging, waiting for your opening. The crossguard is good there because it's gonna excuse me. The crossguard is good there because it's going to do more damage when you get your single hits in. But I will say that for a lot of the bosses, you can basically stun lock them with dual wield because you're just that fast.
Yep. Dual wield's great in the game. I mean, I really enjoyed the blaster one, especially if you upgrade it to where you can do the quick shots. I think it's up to like 3 enemies all at once, where you hold down either
block
Y,
and Y.
Block and Y, or whatever button you're using on whatever system or platform you're playing on. You literally just do a quick shot right from your belt, like what Han Solo would do, just consecutively. It's great. It's good against mobs.
Did Respawn make the first Red Dead game?
No.
Or am I thinking of a different game?
That's Rockstar. Rockstar did. It's a one that starts with an R. Rockstar did the Red Dead Redemption games.
But because it very much reminded me of like the Red Dead style of like where you mark all your shots before you take it.
The only shooter I know Respawn has made was Titanfall.
Right.
So, but they didn't have any. It was a first-person shooter, so they didn't have anything like that in Titanfall.
And then I will say that I really appreciated how each stance blocked blaster fire differently. Like in the single stance, you could block a couple shots. Your dual, you're splitting the blaster bolts, which didn't even know was a thing.
It's great.
With the double bladed, you can block like a million shots at once. And then blaster is just normal, and then crossguard you get the heavy deflect.
Yep. It's I mean, they really made each stance feel completely different from one another.
Mm-hmm.
Which was honestly the best. I mean, if you haven't played it yet and you're listening to this, stop listening and go play the game. If you have been playing the game, test different stuff out, because you can do so many different combos. Like, I saw a video and never realized it, never came to mind, to swap your saber stance mid-combat, and you can combo off your change in stances. I never thought about doing that. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
that's smart. Holy crap. It's literally just kind of reminds me of Kanan versus the Grand Inquisitor.
Right.
And it's like him switching to blaster single hilt to dual wield left and right to confuse the opponents and whatnot.
So there's a funny joke about this because we can talk about kind of other aspects of combat, but there's a joke that the reason we don't see as much saber customization during the prequel era is because the Jedi kept it as a hush hush because they didn't want Anakin to know that he could modify his lightsaber.
And make the Youngling 9000 even more deadlier than it was.
You cannot tell me that Anakin would not have a tricked out lightsaber.
Oh
But he
my
would trick it
god, he would trick it out. God knows what he would do to it, but yeah, he
I
would
wouldn't be
definitely deck his saber out.
I wouldn't be surprised if he created like tiny grenades and added a grenade launcher to his lightsaber.
Something of that caliber. And who knows? Anakin was so unpredictable. I mean, closer to the end of the Clone Wars, even watching like the animation, I mean, he would go off deep end without even like, I don't know, consulting anyone. It's like, oh yeah,
Right.
here you go, dead. What? But yeah, he totally would. I mean, for all I know, he could make it. He probably would have been the one to make his a light whip. Let's be honest.
Right.
Like a true light whip. But who knows?
So, one of the things that I really appreciated mechanically in this game, other than just the different ways of blocking or different ways of deflecting, is the different parries like that you could upgrade. I don't know if you've seen where you can do a blaster parry
Mhm.
or a force push parry.
Yes. Yeah, I upgraded. I got the blaster parry, where you can parry, and then literally it's a point. It's literally a point blank range shot from your blaster. It's great. It does
I really
considerable amount of damage.
I really feel like the inspiration for Cal's blaster style is 100% that scene from Raiders of the Lost Ark where Indy comes up on the big like sword guy doing all the fanny thing. He just takes out his gun and shoots him.
Yep. I was so hoping in one of the cutscenes through the game, I was so hoping going to see Cal do something like that. See an enemy come up to him and is like do something stupid, and he just pulls out his blaster and just shoot him. That's a missed opportunity to respawn. What the heck? You could have had an Indiana Jones reference right then and there.
Right.
But I mean that, and it's also pretty reminiscent to Kyle Katarn, like right off the bat.
Right.
Because in Legends, Kyle Katarn used a blaster and saber pretty regularly.
Yes, but never together.
That's true. He did not use them together. It's only one or the other. That's a good point.
I mean, even like, so if we think about it, there are Jedi who have used blasters. I mean, Kanan and Ezra use blasters, not together, well, except for the one time. Ezra or Katarn uses a blaster, Luke uses a blaster, Rey uses a blaster. Like, it's not unheard of, but this is the first time that we've seen like the blaster be an opportunity of using ranged and close range in like conjunction with each other.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, but I think all in all for gameplay, I'd probably give the gameplay 8 out of 10. Some of the things that I didn't like were I felt like a lot of the enemies were just there to the ones that are really difficult and annoying are just there to spawn unblockable attacks.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, honestly, we're really naming mainly one boss, the spawn of Boro or whatever the heck. It's the freaking frog from the first Fallen Order game. You fight its child, and we have already just discussed our frustrations with it, and it's terrible. But yeah,
Right. And like the first one in the first game you fight it, like he's not that hard of a boss, but it's really hard because you can encounter him from the get-go.
right.
And so
Well,
that's what
in
makes
compared
first
to
one
the
hard.
first game, which I did talk to I talked to one of my friends about this. Compared to the first one, in the first game, force stasis was locked onto one of your as a ability you can use whenever. Compared
Yeah.
to this game, and they did change it to where force stasis is now a double click button when its gauge bar is fully is maxed out is when you can use force stasis. Well, it's not
I
as targeted, and once you hit something, they become out of force stasis.
I think they get that because they tried to create like an ability wheel kind of
Mm-hmm.
thing with the RB buttons. So they had to do something with force stasis. And with them including like force slam and force lift into this game, like there are only so many buttons.
Right. That it should make sense.
Right. I would have liked, I think they could have done something where, maybe both triggers are force slam and both bumpers are force, lift or something like that. And then kept or whatever. And like
Stasis as
there's
its own.
just
Yeah.
right. And I also feel like they didn't utilize, well, I don't know, because we had a sprint button with clicking in the left joystick. What did clicking in the right joystick do outside of BB-8's?
That was
Oh,
it.
that was an interact.
Yeah, it was the interact button.
And that's sometimes something that I kind of got with the gameplay is that there really weren't enough buttons for all the things that they wanted to do in the game. Because sometimes I'd be trying to force lift and it kept like throwing the lightsaber or doing something else. And like if you are in dual wield stance, it's really hard to use those kind of abilities because the RB and Y is when you throw the saber in a circle around you.
That's true.
And so I think maybe the game would have benefited from a force power wield where we could like decide what combat force powers we want.
Yeah, but there's that. But I feel like if they'd done that, they would have taken away from the immersion of the game, which is what their key thing with this game was. And if you play Jedi Survivor, the immersion is completely there. It's insanely how immersed this game is. Like when I'm playing, I feel like I'm actually like in Star Wars. Like it's I don't know. I feel like I'm back in Disney all over again when I was playing this game.
Right. I think, and it definitely does feel that way. I just wish that there had been a little more like consideration in the overall game mechanics.
That's fair. But yeah, I mean, out of game mechanics, I would agree. I would give it an 8 out of 10. It's a much more refined version from Fallen Order, which is always a plus.
So as far as performance and graphics,
mm-hmm.
which I think is like the hot button issue of this game.
Yeah.
Right now.
So we both
PC,
played on Series X, right? Or what?
Yes.
Would you play on Series X, right?
I played on Series X.
Okay, that's what I played it on. PC, unfortunately, has been a very hot take.
And I think that there's something to be said, and I think that game companies are probably testing, they probably are testing their games on PCs, but your casual gamers, most of the people who are going to buy this game just because, oh, it's a Star Wars game, they're console gamers. So it doesn't surprise me that this game performed best on the consoles.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, me coming like I worked in the gaming industry, well, retail side of gaming industry anyway. Most, I mean, going forward, most games are going to be mainly developed for next gen consoles rather than being built specifically from a PC and then go into console, because that, I mean, yes, PC gaming is very popular still. It's very, like, a lot of people are going to PC gaming, but next gen consoles is where the main people are. Like what Austin said, casual gamers are mainly going to be on console rather than PC, and that's what they really have to look at it, because a good like at least 65% of their sales probably came from a console rather than a PC source.
Right. And I think that now, don't take this from this. I think the performance of Jedi Survivor on PC is abysmal, and
Absolutely.
a game should not be launched with that much performance issue. And Respawn and Lucasfilms, they kind of said like the game was tested with a specific build, and so there's something about like these issues must be happening on like very randomized builds, and that, to be honest, that is a difficulty with planning for PC, is that everyone has a custom build and there's a lot more variety. Whereas, like, if you play the game on a Series X,
that's one build and that's it.
Yeah, it's gonna play like that on almost every Series X. I mean, internet connection and other things. Right. TV variables apply, but you're not dealing with multiple processors, multiple graphics cards, multiple GPUs, multiple RAM systems. Like,
yeah, I mean it makes sense in that's it with the gaming development side of things. It does make things a lot more challenging. With, like, you know, PS5 Series X, you just have the one console, and you only have to deal with that. PC, like Austin said again, you have, I don't know how many different like GPUs and RAM cards that you can completely custom build your PC to be whatever. With them going, and they've specifically, I think when they originally delayed the game, I think what it was a month before the release, they even specifically said in that statement it's designed specific for specific builds.
Right.
I'm pretty sure.
And
so,
that being said, from the Series X perspective and other games, the game looks great in its cutscenes.
It did experience some lag in like the graphic side of things during gameplay.
Yes. And I have experienced a couple of performance bugs, and like I think it's worth noting that this game is huge. Not like huge like there's a lot to do, but like huge in file size, which tells me that like it's over 150 gigabytes. Rendering that for the graphics of this is a lot.
Here's some perspective. I bought the physical copy. I don't know if did you buy the physical one?
Yes.
Okay. So the physical copy of the game is 40 gigs. The first update is 105.
Right. And so I preloaded the game before that. So I like downloaded the full 150 whatever. And then I think I had to download an additional like 12 gigabytes when I put the disc in.
That sounds about right.
But I mean, and you get some issues, like some people are mad about that. Like when you move in out of Pyloons, like it's basically a load screen. But like, I mean, rendering that much graphic thing takes time.
And the thing is, though, like, besides pylons and, like, you going from your ship onto the planet, there is no loading in between areas. It's all one seamless area unless you fast travel.
Right.
That's it.
Which makes sense why this game would be so heavy on PC, because like have you ever like tried to use like a graphics mod and then use the Open Cities mod in Skyrim?
I haven't, no, but I've seen videos of it, and it looks
Like it's
looks bad.
your processors and stuff can't handle it.
Your
They need
processor
time.
wants to commit suicide because it's trying to overload itself.
Right. And so load screens are just for that.
Hmm. But yeah, this game, like, Kobo alone. I mean, I understand people's irritation with, like, it like slows down for a bit, and then when you exit plumes, or like any like loading, like when you're meditating or even like fast traveling. But just look at Kobo. Kobo's literally the size of the first entire game by
Right.
itself. Like, that planet is freaking huge. Literally take all 4 planets from the first game, put them all together. Kobo's probably still bigger, if not the same size.
Right. And there were some, I don't know what engine it's using.
Unreal Engine 4.
4? Okay. And so maybe if they were using 5, maybe it would be, but I even think with 5, we would still have these issues.
5, I would say, would have these issues. Honestly, with 5, it might have more issues because Unreal Engine 5 is technically still in its development phase. It's not even a full fleshed out system yet. Unless you're like looking at like the Fortnite creator thing that they just released with Epic. But other than that, everything else is still test worthy or in the test stage.
And I will say, from a gameplay perspective, even on the Series X, because I ran most of the game in performance mode, it even struggled then to maintain 60 FPS. Like, I was probably there were several times where I was consistently dipping into like 40 or 30.
That's fair. Yeah, I primarily played on quality mode.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted the graphics and the immersion of the worlds more. Even though I did look side by side, and performance and quality basically looked the same.
Right.
So
I think it depends on, and I did see that some of the problems on consoles had to do with HDR. And so like my TV doesn't do HDR, so
mine does.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, graphic wise, consoles, give it an 8.
7 probably for me. PC
debatable at this point. I'm not even going to rate that. But
yeah,
I think it's a good time to take a mid break before we dive into the story spoilers of things.
Story. Well, and customization. We got to talk about customization.
Oh, and customization. That is true. All right.
Oh, hello, and welcome to the middle of the show where we talk about things about the podcast, but not about Star Wars. And so it's here where I let you know that we do have a Patreon. You can find us at patreon.com/holocronhistories. You can sign up at various tiers to come and support us. If you sign up at our $20 tier, you can join us on the show once a month. And so we're really looking forward to that. If you'd like to support us, we would greatly appreciate it. Also, another great way to support us is to leave us ratings and reviews on Apple or Spotify. And we do have a review to read today.
We do. And it's very exciting because it's from the Great Britain, which is our first international review, I'm pretty sure. Written by Darth Jedi 600 from the Great Britain. This podcast, 5 stars. This podcast was amazing. could you possibly do a Jedi Survivor podcast as the game is officially came out now? Well,
yes.
I mean, we will do all things Star Wars, but I don't know if we can do a podcast just with Jedi Survivor.
But you do get this episode.
Yes, and we've done a few other episodes of Jedi Survivor, and for all we know, I mean, well, we will know it. We will do more, episodes that deal with the characters from Jedi Survivor, and
Right.
from what we're going to probably talk about here in the second half, another game, more than likely. So there's that.
Yeah. Other than that, you can come hang out with us on Discord if you want to talk about the things we say, or say, hey, Ben, Teacup, Austin, you all are crazy and your Star Wars opinions are trash. You can come on to the Discord. I will have very, very staunch rebuttals for you. And
I will
if you
I will supply with gifts.
yes, that's all we'll do. But we're Teacup and Ben of something on both Discord servers, Cups Podcasting More and the Robots Radio. You can find us all there, and you can find us on our other shows. Ben does the Wizarding World Lorecast, and I do the Dragon Age Lorecast and the Assassin's Creed Lorecast. And you can find us on those shows, but you can only find both of us together on the Holocron Histories podcast. And with that, we do go live every week on Tuesday. Well, every week that unless something comes up.
True.
Yeah, but we go live on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And you can log on to Twitch, Ben of Temeria, and check us out there. You can also find the Wizarding World Lorecast, which does go live tomorrow, I believe.
Yes, we go live every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on my Twitch channel, Ben of Temeria on Twitch.
Yeah. The other ones, mine don't go live. You have to. But we release episodes on Thursdays, which is the day you're listening to this. If you're listening.
So you have 3 shows to listen on Thursday, and 1 more show the following day, because my Wizarding World's every Friday.
Right. But other than that, I think that's all I got for the middle of the show.
Cool. So, yeah, let's get back into it. All right. We are back, and with that blaster sound effect, I was not expecting how much customization the blaster was going to have.
Right, I thought it was just going to be.
I thought it was just going to be here's blank, here's random blasters you can choose from. I was not expecting to be like as it was for like the saber. I was like, oh, you can change literally the barrel, the trigger, and the grip. Holy crap!
Right. Well, and I'll tell you, the one thing that I was super impressed with was the color. All the different paints that you could use.
It had so many different materials that you can just deck out everything with. Honestly.
Right. I wish that sort of they had a similar kind of model for the clothing. Instead of just like a general color, like I could change like accents and secondary and primary colors on that as well. Would have been cool. But I mean, even with that, like you can mix and match. You can make all kinds of looks going on. I made a Luke Skywalker carbon copy with red hair with the lightsaber and the colors and giving him the all black outfit and the Chanel boots. Like,
that's awesome. I used the standard like the facial and hairstyle that Cal has the get-go of the game because I just like that look on him. I don't know. But as for an outfit wise, I decked them out. So I just really like the Outrider outfit style they had because it uses clone armor. For the Greaves, has the Greaves of the clones, and he has shoulder pads, and the shirt had the hand armor from the clone armor as well. So he had bits and pieces of clone armor with a stylish looking post Republic outfit. My saber was half. So spoilers, you do get Sears saber. I have one half of that, and then the other half was a style that I liked. I think it was Patience was the style. And then the blaster, I basically made it look like Mando's blaster, but it was made of Beskar.
Right. So for most of the game, I used the like RSK737 or whatever it is skin. I used that. And I liked kind of going old school Western, and I used like a combination of Beskar and wood, and it like
Ooh.
making the barrels wood, and then like a like metal Beskar frame, kind of like how a real rifle would kind of be
Okay.
with wood and metal mixed together. And then for my saber, I definitely used I made a Luke kind of style carbon copy, which it deals with like using parts from Satari Kree and Indo Cordova and the Rebel Hero, and then the Hermit, some of the Hermit to make basically Luke's Return of the Jedi lightsaber. And then I used as my secondary saber, I made the second half um, using the Hermit
Okay.
style
Nice.
for that kind of thing.
Now, what color crystal? Green?
Green.
Okay.
Green. It's what I typically use. I went back and forth because I was trying to decide which one I liked. I went back and forth with the white, and especially like if I was doing like the commander armor, I really liked the white lightsabers with that, especially with like the all black outfit.
Okay.
And then so I used that, but green, I typically went back to green because that's my favorite lightsaber color.
I'm always a blue, but I did like, I don't know if you've seen this. All the colors have different sounds when they're ignited
Yes.
and when they're on, which is really cool. Fun fact, all of the Savvy Workshop sabers that you build down at Galaxy's Edge has the same effect. Each Kyber crystal has different sound fonts when they're ignited.
Have you seen the party crystal?
The party? No. Okay, that's the new Game Plus crystal, isn't it? I have not. I just beat the game this past weekend, so I haven't done New Game Plus yet. But I've seen videos on it. It's like it literally changes color every time you like swing it, doesn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
a
party
what in
crystal.
the world.
So I used that for a little bit, but I got bored of that, and so I switched back to green. And then like one time, so this was really funny. I made Luke's lightsaber. I used his outfit. Well, no. So I got the training shirt and some of the pants. I made Luke's. I used the Rebel Hero lightsaber, and then I decked BD1 out in all green. So it was literally Dagobah Luke
Oh my god.
walking with Yoda on his back.
That's the other
But
thing. BD being customizable was like, what? Though some of his customization stuff was like, to me. I don't know.
Yeah. I did appreciate the Camino style and its nods to the droid from Bad Batch
Yes.
and Club.
Yeah, I used a bit of the Camino stuff with BD.
And then so I don't know why we couldn't change the color of the mantis at least. Why they didn't just keep that in there.
Yeah, I don't know because I guess they added so much more customization to specifically to Cal. It's like, no one cares about the mantis. It's like we're still flying the thing. Even just for a little bit. I mean,
so
I don't know.
Yeah. I was a little disappointed in not being able to customize the mantis. And I was a little disappointed in like the lack of Star Warsy outfits. And that like we do get a Jedi robe, but we don't get like the closest to the traditional Jedi robe we get is the hermit robe, Obi-Wan's cloak from the show. And I just wish we could got that, or even just like unlocked a High Republic robe or something like that would have been really cool.
I was honestly shocked we didn't get the High Republic stuff because, you know, which we'll go here in a little bit. The story is very entangled with High Republic. I was shocked we didn't get anything like outfit wise. Like we get a Jedi outfit on Jeddah, but it's literally just the tunic and the pants. That's it. There's no like it's not even robes. It's just
Right.
it's just like a saber tunic. That's it.
And there are actually very few, there's probably only like five complete outfits that are outside of like pre-order bonus and other stuff like that. Outside of that, there's only like a handful of full sets that are coat, shirt, and pants.
Hmm. Correct. Yeah, a lot of it was besides those, like a lot of it's mix and match, which I thought of things.
Hmm.
Which I mean, you can make lot of really cool, unique looks in Jedi Survivor. But yeah, I was the one thing I was hoping to see was an actual robe set, which we didn't
Hmm.
get, which was honestly more surprising, unless you pre-order the game or buy the deluxe upgrade for the hermit stuff.
And I get that, like, I get the first game with the ponchos and that because Cal is still trying to like remain under the radar. Like he doesn't want to go sporting his lightsaber. He doesn't want to go like walking around in Jedi robes to draw attention to himself. But this game, he does not care. That
Yeah.
man will walk up and just like that man would walk up into the streets of Coruscant and activate his lightsaber.
Yep. Which he did. So-
Yeah.
which he does in the first, your first 2 hours of playing the game, which is still the beginning. I was not expecting all that to be the beginning.
And so I'd give customization a 9 out of 10, minus 1 point for lack of Jedi robes
I would
and
agree.
lack of Mantis customization.
Yeah, I would agree with that. 9 out of 10 for customization. It's still great, regardless without robes or a mantis customization, but still. But who knows what we get later. But yes, story. So, how did you feel about it? I want to know.
I felt like they threw away the most interesting parts.
You talking about like a High Republic stuff?
Right.
Yeah.
And like,
So, for people listening, so the main part of this game is, Cal is doing what he can to stop the Empire, yada yada yada, trying to find his place in the galaxy, doing all that things, and then finds a way to find a world to, get away from the Empire, and it specifically deals with the High Republic stuff, which is really cool, which I was really hoping for when they first teased the game. When I saw, so the character we see in the teaser trailers and the current trailers is Dagon. He's a character that is specifically made for the game. When I saw his robes, it's like, oh, that's High Republic. Well, it's High Republic that we get in the game. But yeah, they threw away the High Republic stuff like almost halfway through the freaking game, if not like
right. And
three
like,
fourths. And I was like, wait, what? I mean, it's still presence, but like the High Republic characters that besides one droid are like gone. And I was like, what just happened?
and like, neither, like, I just felt like there weren't any stakes. Like there were stakes for Cal personally, but like it wasn't the same thing of like, when you open off that elevator on Zepho and Trilla is standing right there and you're like, oh crap.
Yep.
Or even just the fact of you're standing in the Fortress Inquisitorius and you've beaten Trilla and you just hear that breathing.
And yeah, just like Vader comes out of nowhere, and I was like, yep, Is this the end of the game?
I saw Vader coming in this game from a mile away. The minute both said something's terrible is coming to them, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, it's gonna be Vader, and Seer's gonna die. Like that's what's gonna happen.
So, personally, I didn't think Vader was going to show up until the scene where like Seer's in the temple, and I was like, oh, the Vader's going to show up, isn't he? Lo and behold, he does. And mind you, everyone, this game takes place during the same year as Obi-Wan. So there's a lot of speculation, specifically with that Seer fight with Vader. Was this before or after he fought Obi-Wan? Because a lot of people are theorizing maybe Seer almost beat Vader. Obviously, she wasn't going to beat him because Vader obviously has to win. But she theoretically could have beaten Vader because he might have been weakened already from his fight that he had with Obi-Wan. But I don't see that as being a thing because Vader being as all-powerful as Vader is. No.
Yeah, I don't think that was the case of what was happening. I think Vader was toying with her.
Oh, without a
the whole
doubt.
time.
Like, he wasn't
Like-
even using half of his power. I guarantee. Like, half of his
Right.
abilities he wasn't even using in that fight. Yes, Seer became very strong in the Force, but Vader was still leagues away ahead of her.
Right. And like I think about it like this. In like, in Dragon Ball Z or whatever, they talk about like there are points where Goku and Vegeta and all of them get into their fights or whatever, and there's a lot going on, and like they struggle or they don't struggle until they meet an opponent, and then their weaknesses are exposed because they're not used to fighting people who can actually pose a challenge. That's Vader. Like most of the Jedi are gone. Most of the Jedi who can pose a challenge to Vader are gone.
Yep.
And so when he walks up to this, he's like, I don't really have to try. And plus, like, you have to understand, like, Vader's heart is not in what he is doing. He will never be as powerful as Anakin Skywalker because Vader isn't nearly as committed to the cause with Palpatine now that Padme is gone as Anakin was to the cause of the Republic.
This is true. Very true. But yeah, I felt sad they kind of like dished away Dagon like he was the mid-game boss, which I thought was kind of a disappointment. Is like, so they hyped up the High Republic stuff like really big through like halfway through the game, and then like you kill him. Granted, there's story implications on how Cal was able to easily beat him. Well, not easily beat him, but he dived into the dark side of the Force and used Force illusions, which is the first time we've seen in canon, if I recall. Right? Is that the first time we see Force illusions?
I don't know.
Because I know Force illusions... No? Thought we... Maybe. I don't know. We would... I'll just look back and look up stuff later. But he dives into Force illusions, which I don't think has gone up in canon recently, at least. But yeah, he used the dark side of the Force to trick Dagon into seeing his old friend, and who's long dead, and to easily kill, stab him. But yeah, and then the Ravis fight, being a Dengai, as powerful that species is, I'm sorry, that fight was a letdown.
Right.
And
like, he basically...
This is not hard.
He basically plays like any like oversized heavy weapon Dark Souls boss.
Yep. Yeah. Well, and I was hoping like he would have been at least more of a challenge just because of his species.
Right. And they do kind of utilize his regeneration, but it would have been so much more, like even to just watch, even that we see with the bounty hunter in the original Clone Wars, where we watch Cal split him in half and he stitches himself back together.
Yeah. Yeah. Like nothing, like, because Dengai are literally just a mass of regenerating tentacles, basically. That's their species as a whole. but they live for. So you find out Ravis has been alive as long as the High Republic was a thing. When the High Republic was, at least from where we're at in the story and where they were at, they were looking at like 300-400 years.
Right.
Before all the events in Jedi Survivor. So Ravis was over 300 to 400 years from the High Republic era.
Right.
Dagan being somehow in a Bacta tank, which, if I can't remember if Bacta was being developed during the High Republic or was already developed. I can't remember.
Right. But it still just goes to show that, like, I mean, Kenobi has to be the first Gendai that we see by literally exploding him from the inside out.
Yeah.
And, like, yeah, we don't want to see that. And I get, like, you took off his head, and so, like, yeah, you can do, like, he doesn't have a head, so he can't regenerate. But still, like, it just was a two-phase fight that was just, like, he didn't even gain any move sets in the second phase. And so it was a bit of a letdown, but I just really wanted more of, like, what happened with the original Tanalorr and, like, what was going on Kobo, and, like, more of the Satari Kree relationship, and, like, more of the Jedi Council, and, like, just more of all that history.
So from what I gathered, not all of it, but a good bit is explained in, like, the codex entries of when you do, like, force echoes and stuff like that, or when you first experience Dagan's memories of the Nihil. Somehow the Nihil gets to Tanalorr, and how that happens I don't know, but the Nihil are a space pirate faction during the High Republic era. Granted, the High Republic is still, quote-unquote, the most peaceful time of the galaxy, even though they had conflict. But it wasn't like Clone Wars or Galactic Civil War conflict. But the Nihil were still a threat, and just, like, seeing the Codex entry, the Nihil invasion of Tanalorr, and I was like, oh, cool, I know who the Nihil are. But, I mean, so out of High Republic stuff, and I'm currently on the last book of Phase 2, and there's going to be 3 phases of High Republic at the moment. Phase 3, I think, is, like, starts later this year. But there's actually, all the characters they reference are new to the series. None of them are from the books that I recall, or I haven't read in the game. I haven't read all the codex entries in the game yet, so. But,
Right.
I mean, just them connecting it to the High Republic is really a strong point, because that's what Disney's focusing on, is filling in the gaps before the prequel era, which is a good point, I think. I know Acolyte, they recently, I guess it was reported it's going to be 100 years before Phantom Menace, and it shows possibly how the Sith infiltrated the Republic. Who knows? I mean, obviously, it's going to deal with Plagueis and Palpatine specifically, so, or others. Probably before Plagueis, honestly. Who knows? But, yeah, it was interesting how they, like, really, hey, they hyped this up, and then, like, you killed the main guy from the trailers, like, halfway through the game. Though I was shocked. Bode was a Force user. I did not expect that.
Right.
That was
and,
a
like,
full jaw drop moment for me.
And that was a reveal. And I expected some kind of, like, twist or betrayal, or, like, but, like, I was expecting it from, like, oh, Satari Kree, like, she's actually, like, I thought we would get to Tanalorr and she'd be there, and she's actually on the dark side too.
Okay, that'd been actually much cooler than having Bode.
Right. And, like, it's not even a thing of, like, Bode's not even a dark side Force user. Like, he he doesn't really care about the Empire. He's not pro Empire. He's not pro anything. He's motivated by his daughter, which is fine, and all of that is okay. I just feel like they were trying to tell two separate stories, and I wish they had only told the first one.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. I mean, getting all the way down to where we defeated Dagon and got the compass and whatnot, and it's like, okay, there must be something else around the corner. Then, Bode shoots Cordova, which, by the way, did not realize Cordova was alive. I thought he was actually dead in the first game. It's like, I thought we were talking to a ghost the entire time in the first game. It's like, oh no, this guy's actually still alive. Holy crap. Shoots him, kills him, and then, we have a fight on the mountain where he took Dagon's saber, and of course, I've seen so many people online, it's like, oh no, Bode's a Sith. It's like, oh no, he's not a Sith. Bode's not a Sith. He's just a fallen Jedi who's literally just trying to survive, and like Austin said, he's motivated by his daughter, unfortunately in just more twisted ways than trying to keep her safe.
Right. I really hate the fact that, like, Cal, he faces his dark side moment, or facing the dark side, which is like whether or not he like kills Denvik in cold blood is his like dark side moment, and Merrin pulls him back. And to me, like, but then nothing changes about his behavior. He still embraces and uses the dark side through the whole thing. And like, I understand that we can have like gray and morality in that, but like, there's a choice that you have to make. And you can't say, oh, you brought me back from the dark side, and then continue to embrace said darkness.
Right. Well, like, I think it was, basically what the game was trying to say, and what Merrin did for Cal is, instead of the darkness controlling Cal, he should control the darkness, which you do at the very end, is where you embrace the darkness instead of the darkness controlling you. But it's still darkness. It's still the dark side of the Force. So,
right.
We do see the dark side of Cal, and let's be honest, you do not want to be on the other end of a saber, because he goes on a full-on rampage when you first go dark side. And it's like, oh, this is
right.
This is great. All right, cool. But yeah, I don't know. If we get DLC, which I doubt, because knowing Respawn and knowing how the first game went, if this is going to be, let's be honest, the Jedi series is going to be a trilogy. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a trilogy. Where Cal goes from here, we don't know, but I have a strong feeling in the next game, which we will get, we'll probably see him struggling between the line of dark and light and dark, more so.
Yeah. But I think that, okay, so, if we talk about the first Jedi Knight series, which is obviously Dark Forces, Mysteries of the Sith, the Jedi Outcasted, Jedi Academy. The last Jedi Knight game, which is Jedi Academy, you don't play as the protagonist that you've been playing as for the rest of the game. So I think if we get another game, I think they're going to time jump to after the rebellion, or maybe like during the rebellion or something, and it's going to be Kata. And this is my issue with like them. They're not being anything on Tanalorr, and that there wasn't anything to solve or anything to deal in these unknown regions. Is now Cal has no excuse for why he is not involved in the events of the original trilogy, which discredits him as a character if he just decides to chill out and hang out on Tanalorr. Like, okay, what are you doing? Like, I'm sorry, you all are going to send someone who spent a total of what, 3 months Jedi training to go fight the Emperor when Ahsoka, Cal, and all these people are still alive?
Yeah.
And you're telling me that Yoda, freaking Yoda on Dagobah, knew that Leia was force sensitive from Dagobah, but he didn't know that Cal, Ahsoka, and all of them were still alive and get them to go and fight the Emperor? Why has it got to be Luke? Like, it's just,
Because he's the
it's
son of
create
Vader.
right. No, and like it's creating the least amount of importance in here, and like it diminishes Luke's hero's journey because he's less and less necessary.
I mean, that's why. I mean, besides Ahsoka, because Ahsoka, we find out in Rebels, she's doing her own thing. She's been doing her own thing. Before Cal was introduced with the Rebels crew, it makes like, okay, we get these Jedis and Rebels, but then one disappears into the unknown regions, the other one dies.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes sense why they're Ezra and Kanan aren't there, because Kanan dies in an explosion and Ezra goes into the unknown regions with Thrawn. Ahsoka is God knows where because she's doing her own thing because she's not considered a Jedi herself anymore. Cal
Right.
is introduced, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like I guarantee we are going to get a third game, but I don't know if it's going to be. I mean, if we do get a third game, I hope it's before 4, because we still have what, 10 years?
Yeah.
We still have 10 years
9.
before A New Hope, because it's 19 BBY when A New Hope happens, right?
Right.
Yeah. So we still have 10 years. So I have a strong. We'll probably get a time jump, but it's probably going to be with that 10-year gap, and something drastically is going to happen to Cal, either where, he cut himself off the Force, or he dies, or something.
Right.
I have a feeling to where it would then make more sense to where then it gets into Luke's story. Because,
and I do think.
Go on.
I mean, I'll be annoyed if it is like we basically just get a Geralt Ciri remake with Cal and Kata.
Now, granted, I don't know. Who knows what we'll get? I mean, obviously, Kata's probably force sensitive, hence why Seer tells Cal, guide her through the darkness. Guarantee you she's force sensitive because, well, one, she's a daughter of a force sensitive. Most force sensitives, if they have kids, typically their kids generally are force sensitive as well.
Theron Shaw, or Sean, Theron Sean, and Ray's father are the only.
Yeah, that's a good point. One's Legends, one's canon.
Right, they're the only ones.
No, though Theron Sean, he can't use the Force, but he can sense it in a way, because he was trained by Jedi to use his senses, and then they used cybernetics to help him not to be controlled or anything, because he's a master spy, he's a master infiltrator, so he uses his connection to the Force, right. But he can't manipulate it like Force sensitive.
He's not a Force.
He's not a Force user. He's still Force sensitive in a way. He's kind of like most. If you go back to our Mirrorlin episode, most Mirrorlins can feel the Force. They just not all Mirrorlins can access the Force like a Force user.
Right.
So he's something similar to that. But he's still though. There's very, very. They're the only offspring in Legends and canon that physically can't use the Force.
And Rey's dad is a clone.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think Palpatine did the deed.
No, he's Rey's father is a clone of Palpatine.
Yes.
which technically then Rey is technically the daughter of Palpatine.
Right.
If you want to get into theoretical and technicality there.
Well,
but
then is Boba Jango? Or is he the son of Jango?
good point. Oh, see, it gets in murky territory because they're clones and they have their own personalities. But whatever. Anyway, besides that, before we end the episode, because we've gone quite along the normal, did you do the Boba? Did you get to the cutscene?
I did. It was great. It was fun. I really like the blaster you get afterwards.
I still need to look at that. I've still yet to look at that one.
As far as story goes, I go with another 7 out of 10, and I'd give the game an overall 8 out of 10.
Okay, yeah, I would agree with that.
Mm.
I definitely agree. Yeah, story was kind of like, it started very strong, and then 3/4 the way through is like, wait, what just happened? And you kind of get like more of a traditional revenge story, kind of with Cal going after Bode to betraying him and whatnot. That's basically what it became. Oh, let's go find a way and get away from the Empire with Tanalorr. Bode betrayed you. All right, cool. I'm after Bode. Don't care about anything else. I'm going to kill Bode.
And you know what? Maybe even 6 out of 10 solely before just what in the heck was the point of the Battle Scars novel?
Okay, I'm not even going to I'll still give it an 8 out of 10, but yeah, I don't see a point. The Battle Scars was a pointless book to be written. I'm sorry. Battle Scars literally you don't even need to read Battle Scars, and we've talked about this on our Battle Scars review. You don't even need to read that book for this game because there's literally nothing from that book that is even in the game. The only thing you find out is that how Grease has a metal arm. That's mainly it. And then we basically confirmation in the book that Cal and Merrin basically had feelings for each other before the events of Jedi Survivor. That's basically it.
Right. But that's all. A good game. Definitely worth the purchase. Definitely worth the playthrough. A great addition to the Star Wars thing. I just had some critiques that maybe I won't have those critiques when the next inevitable next game comes out. Because not only is the story I felt unfinished, but it is also run by Disney, who will milk something until it's dry.
No comment. But isn't that what we do?
Aladdin 4. Jafar may need glasses. It's a Family Guy reference, if anyone knows.
Or Zootopia to Electric Boogaloo. No? Oh, darn. Anyway, but I think that's what we got for Jedi Survivor for this week.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, everyone, for listening.
And may the Force be with you.
Thank you for listening to Holocron Histories, Star Wars Canon versus Legends. You can find us on the Robots Radio Discord at robotsradio.net. You can also follow us on Twitter at SWHoloHistories and contact us at holocronhistories@gmail.com.